Good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. If you are in North America, Europe, Australia, people in Asia, everybody, welcome to another Monday live stream, Wing live stream. I feel so good. I got good news. So, good news mean good stuff. Good stuff mean that I want you, see where I'm going with this, to give this video a like. Please, I always forgot to ask you guys, give this video a like. If you are not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel, because around 50% of you people who watch these live stream and all my video are not subscribed. I'm at 475 subs, which is nothing for YouTube. But I want to reach my goal to have 1,000 and get into the big game of being monetized and everything. And you need two things to be monetized on YouTube and make money. First one is to have at least 1,000 subscriber and people watching your video for more than 4,000 hours. I already have the 4,000 hour easy. I need people to subscribe. That's my goal. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Now, personal life good news. I have 15 events coming in August. So for those of you who like the vlog, you're going to have definitely some stuff happening there. If you never seen a vlog after this live, go take a look at the vlog. You see what I do for a living. I try not to be too technical, but also show it from the tech world perspective. So if that's interesting to you, go take a look at the vlog. I have 3 now up because I cannot film everything that I'm doing. I cannot film every show that I'm working, because people are like, who the hell are you and why do you have a GoPro? Why are you filming me? So I don't want to go there. I don't want to disturb my workflow, my real life workflow. So but I have 15 event coming. It's great. Feels great. I'm gonna work, and I'm getting message from people that I know, people from bands that say, hey, are you available in September, October? And I'm like, yeah, send me out your dates. Maybe I will tour with another band again soon, in a couple months. It's great. It feels really good. I needed to share that with you guys. Usual coffee mug, but even if it's 1:30 in the afternoon, coffee is still on play now. So, what do you guys want to talk about today? I can tell you something. I don't know why I'm still fighting with this thing. OBS MIDI plugin, which is not even a beta version, it's an alpha version that is working. I'm having so much trouble with this plugin, and I need to install it and reinstall it on Mac OS, and I'm one version behind in Mac OS also, so maybe that's not helping me, but I figure it out. I uninstall it, reinstall it, and now I can switch like before. Feels so good. Speaking of which, I need to save my show file, because I got What's up? I think I pressed the wrong button. I'm really good at that. What have I done? What have I done? Pressed the wrong button. Did I just... Oh, yeah. That's a good one. This one, I'm glad that this one live. I would need to rewatch it, but I'm pretty sure I pressed load instead of save. Ah, damn it. Glad you guys can see this live. Yeah. I pressed load. Okay. I didn't lose much. Like 15 minutes of programming. MIDI stuff. Well, while we're at it, let's take a look at what I did. I only replace some MIDI control on the right section. It's called the custom control. In the custom control, you can use those knobs to assign. You can use those knobs to assign pretty much everything. You can control part of the console, and I decided to use them over MIDI. I just want to take a look. It's not that hard what I did. Push. I want to make sure that I'm sending out MIDI push. MIDI push for this one. MIDI push for this one too. Out and stop. I want push. This one I want toggle. And these two are not used. Alright, Armin. How's it going? It's good to see you. Okay. Enough of me yelling about my mistake. Now, let's do it for real this time. I'm gonna save my file. Save. Here we go. That's what I wanted to do. Where's everyone? I don't know. You got me all for yourself. Enjoy. Oh, everyone is away. I don't know. This is the funny thing. I'm saying this every other live. People are showing up late, asking me questions when I want to leave, and when I'm starting out fresh, you got me for yourself now. If anybody have a question, hi Pancho Par. No, I didn't look out mix station. Did you see my post on Facebook, mate? I think so. Would you like to remind me what it is? Because I have another question from a gentleman on YouTube who sent me out. Let me take my phone out. I'm gonna take a look at this. He asked me if it's possible, and we got some. Hey, Rolf, just arrived. Sorry, man. Sorry, I saw your message. I just didn't read it before. Hey, man. I got somebody, Enrique Tomo, who asked me if it's possible to trigger the USB recorder from MIDI because he wants to use the USB recorder with synth. So, I want to investigate that. I want to take a look. Well, actually, if we have Patrick Gilles Maillot around, he would know the answer right away. But maybe somebody here in the chat know that. Let's take a look at this. He wanted to know if it's possible to control the MIDI, the USB. No, not this way, not this way. Where is it? Do I need to have USB in for me to see it? Or it's been too long since I've used that console? There's probably some stuff on this one, but I'm just gonna use it. Okay, no, there you go. Needed to see the icon to pop off. Okay. I don't know if there's a way to MIDI trigger those control here. If anybody has the answer for this one, I will be really happy because we could help somebody. which is the main goal of me doing YouTube stuff. So, if anybody have any clue, let me know. I want you to hear less Room and more me, if that makes sense. It was about from Darman. It was about Akai. Hold on here. I got a brand new screen from Dell today, come out of warranty. So, for those of you who are not sure if you want to buy a Dell monitor, honestly, I got this thing used. They transferred the warranty over to my name because I own the product now, and I can, until I have a 3-year extended warranty on this thing, which is it's following the monitor, it's not following the owner, and they change it right away. They sent me a new one. Right now I have 2 of these screens, and I need to ship the other one back. This is crazy. No company still doing that stuff. Thumbs up to Dell, honestly. Okay, back to the question from Darman here. It was about an Akai MPC. Now is USB compiled in, and that can export input 32 channel over USB. I think I saw what you mean. Those Akai controller that can record, but they can only record 8 track at a time. Even if you have 32 input, you cannot record more than. Yeah, the MCP. Yeah, I think they are limited to 8 input of recording. This is something that I need to. Okay, guys, let me know what happened in the synth world with the Wing, because I'm getting question all the time now. Like, I had 7 people this week asking me about how can they hook up synth to the Wing. What happened? Somebody somewhere did something with the Wing and synth, and people are just asking me, how can I hook this up together? How can I sync together my synth and my Wing and control over? Honestly, I don't know. I'm not a huge synth guy. I get the idea behind what you guys want to do with synth, but what do you guys want to synchronize? If you are a synth user, if you're not live with us right now, leave a comment below. I want to know. I don't get it. What if you're dealing with synth? You have really good audio processing unit inside your synth. You don't need that thing. Well, if you want to use a console to sum everything together, you do, but I don't get it. Teach me something. Tell me what you guys... First, why is everybody asking me about that? And second, what do you guys want to achieve with a console? That's probably more my question. What do you guys want to achieve with the console? Because syncing with synth, other than tap tempos for effect and delay, is there anything else to sync that I don't know about? I want to know. Yes, it's H-channel max. That's what I taught. And you can switch to controller mode on it. I think that might be 32 channel. over USB like the DAW. You have to remember that much easier to use to use fader and EQ on the Tascam from the. Yeah, I saw that demo with the little Tascam, but okay, Ralph, maybe you got a point there. Maybe they want to start and stop the synth loops from the console and dealing with volume. If your synths are MIDI, I don't see why you cannot load all the pages here with MIDI control for your synth, because you have all the parameters. You have all the top knobs here that can be assigned to everything. So, sure, I could do a lot of stuff with 8 command here. And can we do something about the bottom one if it's in user mode? Yeah, you have. If you are in user mode, you can have also 8 here. So you can have 16 push knob and 4 encoder. That's a lot of stuff. They had MIDI for years, yeah. Every synth had MIDI for years, pretty much since the 80s. But it's the raw audio. This is the part I don't get, because you can... Okay. The other question that everybody asking me this week is, can you overdub? Is it possible in the AKI or the MPC, is it possible to overdub your 8-track? Let's say that you have 8 synth, you have a drum machine, a bass synth, you build your own fake band of synthesizer, synth. And once you record one track, can you overdub on it? Can you use the same synth and the same drum machine and lay out another beat in time with what you just record? Because also, I don't know why, people are asking me from the SD card, why can't they record a session and overdub stuff on it? I had that idea a long time ago. Trust me, it would be really fun to have, a full page popping up, and you can select which of the 32 tracks that you can have, 32 track here that you play or record, and you press play or record or play and punch in, and you could basically record up to 32 track and just overdub them. But that's totally not the way the SD card is designed. So I don't think it's even physically possible. It's not a software update thing. I just think that the way that the card is built is just made to record 32 channel from a live band. It records it into a 32 channel WAV file, and that's it. I think you can overdub internally with MPC. I'm sure it's a simpler at the end of the day. Because that's the thing. That's the thing that... Okay, I need to get in touch with what's happening on the internet right now. Everybody wants to build, or people contact me and ask me how to build a recording studio without a computer. Again, this is the part that I don't get, because I think computers are really powerful and you can have a lot of feature, can have a lot of expandability. Great plugin in a computer, and you don't need something that powerful, honestly. I'll be honest with you guys, I'm about to switch my top of the line MacBook Pro, the one that I'm using right now, with external graphics card and external capture card for my camera. I'm about to ditch all that stuff, and I'm going to use my girlfriend unused 2012 MacBook Pro, the 13-inch version with not even the biggest processor. Because for a laptop, I don't think I need more, because the only thing that I do with a laptop from time to time is audio recording. And I was able back then to record 32 track of audio on that machine. And if I'm not mistaken, I can do it again. So just gonna put a big hard drive into that almost 10 years old computer, and I'm gonna record track, and I'm gonna mix session probably on it. So maybe going out of the console will have to come back on stereo track then. From what I understand from the demo, every channel strip on the console, on the small, was it a Fostech or whatever, on that small console, become an insert. I need to show, yeah, that's the other thing. I'm doing video about the wing. Some of you know that right now for DAW recording, and I need to show how to insert 24 channel of the wing for processing into a DAW. That's coming soon. But I think this is what they're doing on the demo that we saw for the MPC. They use the physical analog EQ to tweak around stuff and fader for level. But I don't know if it's MIDI. I don't know that console. Is it sending MIDI information that re-EQing track on the MPC, or if they are really using the console? And if they do use the console, are they using a USB return instead of using the preamp and just using, switching the input from analog to digital and using the MIDI and send everything through the master on the 2 track, so that way when you would press record, whatever you do on a console will be recorded, but you don't have the individual raw track. It's just becoming a mix. It's a mix down. You take all your 8 track, 32 track, and just mix it down to a left right. From Rolf about the SD card. You have 2 of them, so you can play back one card and record the second card. Yeah, I get that. But could you could do this only like 1 time or 2 time. Not sure about how many times. Well, you could play back and forth between the 2 SD card, but it's not something that I would do. Well, yeah, but it's tricky. You can do it, but it's tricky. Can't you use your DAW to do that? I don't know what we're talking about here, Pancho, but yes, DAW are more powerful and expendable than whatever we can do on the Wing or MPC. I think you can export from the same DAW. Sorry, phone is not in silent mode. I think you can export from the same DAW and record on the same... It's a Tascam board. Okay, I don't know. Is there any rumor about new plugin to the Wing? Do you miss anything? Okay, I get where that come from. David, hi David. We're gonna move on to that subject because I'm really interested in that. I know who posted that on a Facebook group this week. I think it's yesterday or 2 days ago. New plugin coming from the wing. Based on some stuff that I know that the team over at Music Tribe is working on the software. They're working on basically what we're asking. Show file and more stuff. And by some people that I know that are really close to the people over at Music Tribe, if that person heard about a new plugin, it's probably on the way. I don't know what. Honestly, I'm really happy with what I got. But sometimes, when you get offered new stuff, you just say, okay, I like that. I'm going to take it. I'm going to use it. Most of the stuff, honestly, I don't. Show file. Okay, for those of you who don't know, when you are dealing with huge production, you don't want to have... Hold on. I'm going to go over here. When you're dealing with huge production theaters, you want to have many options for recall and trigger scene recall. They were called Snap. No, not Snap. Snippet on the X32. And right now we don't have that in the wing. All we have is a one snapshot, a global show file where you just recall everything. You can work around by just creating more show file and playing with the recall scope and only recall or save some stuff. But the way Snippet were working is when you loaded that, it was only affecting a part of a channel. It's scene management. It's mostly used in theater production. You trigger you recall something by a MIDI trigger from a light console or from a show software. I don't know what it's called, but I remember doing a show with a local theater here, and somebody had a computer and was just pressing the next cue, and pressing that key was sending out MIDI command to the light console, to the soundboard, and they were changing out on the soundboard my channel strip. I was about to say microphone preamp. Yes, microphone preamp were recalling too, but it was changing out channel strip because let's say that they only had 12 headset microphone, but there were 14 actors in that scene. Microphone 1 was not used, so actors number 13 that only go in there and speak for like 2 minutes. The guy who had number 1 who's not in that scene was handing him his headset mic, putting it on, but it was a different gain, a different EQ, and the software was recalling that. But the Snippet was only recalling that channel strip. You can do the same thing for effect. I know, if you, maybe you guys know the band Milk and Bones. It's a duo of girls who do a lot of crazy stuff with only pads, and they have, that really ambient feel. They're local band here from Montreal, and I welcome them a couple of times. And they either bring their own X32 or the guy has a show on his file if you have one locally. And he's got some recall stuff per song. So the sound guy is in the band because he's doing all the crazy effect and stuff. And he's doing EQ recall for certain songs and gain recall for certain songs. That band, the girl who's singing doesn't really yell, but I think in one song it needs to be It's a louder vocal in a reverb in almost infinite decay reverb. So all that is control over snippet, because you want to recall sometimes only part of your show, not the whole thing. Sometimes you want to recall effect. I think in the wing you can recall some effect preset, but only in the rack. But snippet open up a lot of possibility for that. I know they are working on that. I know some production who bought the wing felt a little, like the console was not ready yet. But they're working on the library show file stuff a lot now. I know they're doing that. Maybe expect some future plugin. I don't know why, honestly. They would want to add any more plugin. If they had it and I can use it, great. Like, I was not expecting, honestly, autotune in the wing, but I got it. I'm gonna use it if I needed to. Not all the time, but on some project, I can see a use for it. But until we get a firmware update, which I believe didn't came out, or I think I would have heard about it, there is no new plugin to answer your question, David. Lost my train of thought. I don't know where I was going with that. Okay, from Darman. This is just theory. Sorry. This is just a theory crafting. Let's say that you only had 4 venue that you were paid to be a sound engineer on. Okay. Would it be possible to roast those venue remotely via you want to work? Yeah, well, the answer is yes, but don't do it. You can control over a network console. It's been done for a year. I know a big bar here in Montreal where the head sound almost never go in the venue except to physically fix stuff. The guy he's a really big sound guy who retired, basically. And he's taking care of that place because he custom built, the system for that bar. And that bar has a lot of show. So when something happened, when he needs to tweak out EQ or to recall scene, or when he needs to recall his preset for a DJ versus band preset because it's not the same kind of music, it's not compressed at the same level, he built 2 different system preset for that. And he can just do it from home. As long as you have a internet connection between a computer plug in to your console or a remote software, if you could, I think you can plug a X32 core, which has no physical interface or at all, or an M32C. There's a control software for that. If you can get on that network with your computer, you can control that, same as if you were to have an iPad. So if you were to have a control software, which is almost non-existent for the wing, this is also something else that they're working on. Copilot is still under heavy development. If you can have access over network to that console, same that you can do in the wing, to network port in the back, yeah, why not? You can control whatever you want. The thing is, doing live sound, you can do it, sure, with reference monitor, but you will have first a delay in your response time. 1 or 2 second of delay is, I believe, what is to be expected here. That's a lot of time when you are mixing something live. And the other thing is, even if you have the best studio monitor in the world, if you do not sit in that venue with that PA on next to you, you cannot take good mixing decision for that room. If you're good, if you have really good musician, you will probably be okay. Let's be honest. If your PA is great, if your musician is great, you can make a mix and it will sound just fine in the room. But if you have box that reproduce certain frequencies different than what you have in your monitor, you can take weird EQ decision and mix decision. So, you know, I had that conversation with a system tech not that long ago. Every sound system is different. Even if you put a pink noise through it and you make it totally flat, frequency response flat. If you play the same mix into different PA, if you don't touch anything, your mix won't sound the same, because let's say one PA is 8-inch driver or two 8-inch, one for the mid-range, one for the higher mid, and a tweeter in that line array. With subs, if you have double 18, double 21, double 15 subs, it's not going to react the same, even if you make it totally flat with a pink noise. So yes, you can do it. You definitely can control that, and you can probably figure out a way with Dante to have sound coming from your house, or use a different computer, or monitor a computer. Like, you can control a computer. I do that for all my friends who have technical problem, especially since the pandemic. I just log into their computer, move their mouse, listen to their music, and I can just, play around with it. But there's a latency. There's like 1-2 second latency, and that's a lot for live mixing. And yeah, just the sound difference matter enough for me to get there. But yeah, doable. We all agree on that. Can I ask about speaker? Is breaking in speaker a thing? And how long does it usually take? Thanks for your patience. Great answer. Well, good. Glad you liked it. Breaking in speaker. I know it's a thing in the guitar world. Breaking out speaker. I never seen anybody really breaking out speaker. Personally, I experienced some weird stuff happening with a brand new PA many years ago. A small corporate company that I worked with, but like for a couple months, and me and the other guys, me and one of the other guys in there didn't really get along, so I didn't stuck there for too long. Anyway, they bought a new PA, JBL double 18 subs with 15-inch top, and I remember them smelling weird when I was cranking out the first band into that PA. It smells like, lacquer burning just a little bit. Somebody told me it was the subwoofer cone, because a speaker moving creates some heat. So basically what he told me is, there's some kind of lacquer around the magnet, and the fact that you are driving subs really hard, you're pumping thousands of watts into them, will make that lacquer, heat up a little bit. So it will smells like burning lacquer. But changing in the tone, maybe a little bit I think some old PA definitely have changed in tone. I think some components are getting wear and usually go down in responsiveness. I think the KF 730, it's a line array for those of you who don't know. It's a we have 6 tops per side, so 12 top of KF 730. And I think the higher frequency horn are starting to get less efficient. So breaking in speaker, I don't know. Maybe after a while. I mean, I think PA change over time. But really breaking in, it's not like you need to spend a certain amount of hour with a pink noise into it to make the component work, and then it will fan its sound and not move. I think when you have brand new component in a PA, these components with their tolerance level, because let's face it, even line arrays do not all sound exactly the same between 2 boxes. So I don't know. It's a thing, but if that's a thing, I can tell you when in the timeline, after how many hours, it's breaking. Maybe after 2 hours. Maybe it will change. Maybe it will change a lot in the beginning. After that, you will find the sweet spot, or how it will sound for most of its life, and then it will slowly go out. It will be less efficient. But I think this is only true for PA. If you are talking about studio monitor, I have studio monitor here that are 2 years old, and other than me getting used to them, I didn't really notice any difference. They don't go out. You get some Earl Live 15-inch Behringer, and it's distorted low end. I have to put the bass EQ on the speaker so the stuff distorted. Well, maybe you have destroyed them, and I mean not physically burned the cone, but if you hear distortion in a low drive, if you hear some crackling in the lower drive, you probably bent the cone somewhere. Do I have a speaker around here? Hold on, I got something. Let me move that a little bit. Okay. I'll move that too. This is a 4-inch speaker that I built a sub kick with. I hope you can see it. You have, can you see it? You can't see it. Oh, maybe like this. Okay. Can you see the gray or the brownish thing in the speaker? This is connected to the cone. If you were to send distortion, if you were to send a distorted signal into that speaker, you can bend that part, that paper part. It's not really a paper, but you get what I mean. You can bend that if you push out. If you push out the speaker, one side. Take a look at your speaker. You probably have a wave somewhere in the cone, and that will distort the, how does it called? That will distort the coil inside the driver. The coil is the part where you have a copper wire that goes in the middle of the magnet, because this is a magnet, and you have inside the speaker a coil that moving in and out with electricity. And it's really close to the magnet for it to work. So if you distort your speaker and it's not round anymore, it may be scratching against the magnet. or the signal is like one part of the copper wire inside the coil is getting tired, but because you send a lot of power through it, it's just shorting, and that can create distortion. The fact that your speaker is bent can create distortion. They could have been damaged when you bought them. They could have been abused. It doesn't take a lot. You know, if you take a phantom power mic and you just pull it off, that's enough. You know, it's sending out a straight DC curve from your mic. You know, that cracking noise, that it's sending out a DC signal. If that DC signal reach out your amp, that could damage your speaker. Let me catch up with the chat. I feel like I missed something here. Hey, Chris. Good to see you, man. Welcome back. Everyone is late today. Yeah. Well, actually, I started early because last week is the first time that I start at 1:30 because I had something else in the afternoon, and I saw a lot of people showing up, or more than usual, and I just tried to catch. I tried to catch you guys up. You know, I tried to be there, and I don't want to be alone here. It's really weird when I start those stream and nobody show up. I just talking alone. I'd rather talk to you. I'd rather answer your question than just being there complaining about the board. So I tried to change my stream schedule just to catch up with you guys. So let me know if 1:30 is a good time. 1:30 is a good time. I tried 1 p.m. for me, 2 p.m. or 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. in Europe. And I don't know, every time I change, people showing up the first time and don't show up. Or when I was doing the stream an hour before, I had different people showing up than you guys. So I just don't know where to go with this. I should just be on 24/7. Just be there. I should be. Behringer should hire me as a technical support. I'm there on my YouTube channel, and you just show up and ask your question, and I'm showing it to you on the console. I should be paid to be there from 9 to 5 every day. Just kidding. Okay, your speaker were brand new. It didn't send a lot of output into them. That's the thing. If you send out a DC wave, it doesn't need to be loud. It just need to be a DC wave that pushing the cone too far out. And it, especially in the low end, it takes a lot of energy, but you don't need to have that much of a volume. So it can be destroyed that way. They could have been damaged from the factory, yes. If you... Yeah. Can the crossover cap cause distortion? The crossover cap... Crossover distortion is a thing. But there's two kind of crossover distortion. You have harmonics created by a digital unit crossover, and you have those old physical crossover coil. I don't have any of those around, but I remember hearing that into monitor. Old JBL monitor, those were abused for years. A venue where there's a lot of metal band, and I knew some speaker had crossover that were physically loose, because those crossover were built on a transformer with a coil, and after sometimes, I don't know if those coils were lacquered or just papered, because there's two ways to do a transformer. It's oil or paper in between, or oil and paper, or lacquer and paper. I don't know. But after a while, though, I know certain part of the component inside the box were getting loose. Not loose on the PC board, but some kind of coil in there was getting loose, and when it was hot, like hot because a crossover is holding back on some signal for the horn driver. Everything that is low end or below a certain frequency point is just hold back in there and do not go through. This is how a crossover work. It cuts some frequencies. Those speaker crossover were creating some kind of weird distortion. When you were listening to it cold at low volume, or let's say around 100 dB, it was fine. When you were cranking it after 5 band at 120, no, not 120, but let's say 110, which is way louder than 100, you were start to hearing some weird distortion happening in those boxes, and they were not all reacting the same. So crossover distortion, yes. Crossover cap, I'm not sure what you mean there. Rolf, let me know. Might be your crop 1/4-inch cable. Yeah. No. Unless you are using instrument cable for your speaker, which will just melt down at some point. Copper is copper. Copper is conductive. I mean, I never heard anybody complaining about the electricity in this wall because the wire were creating a bad sound. Could be the input, the plug, Chris, yeah. Could be the connector, could be a bad connector, vibrating, creating distortion when it's physically moving, it's connecting and deconnecting. It could be dust in the amp. It could be, because your physical volume knob is sitting on some dust and it moved slightly inside the box. If those are, I think those are passive, right? It could be physical. You can have one bolt that is loose, and your speaker is not broken, but it's physically vibrating onto the bolt itself inside the box. That's another option. This is really the kind of stuff that you need to see. Well, if I saw that box, I could tell you in a second. If I hear it, I can tell you in a second. What if the Behringer speaker? There's a passive crossover circuit between the tweeter and the 15-inch driver. Yeah, could be it. Could be that. Could be. Could be a lot of things. I don't know the Behringer design enough. Honestly, I never really worked with Behringer speaker. Because I don't want to say that on my rider at some point it says no Behringer PA, but it did on most of my rider. Because some of you probably remember that when Behringer bought off Turbo Sound, they released a Okay, I'm gonna be careful with my word here. They released a homage to the Adamson PA. It was looking like an Adamson PA until you turn it up. It was not. Part tolerance between those speakers were too heavy or were too extreme, so that in the same line array you had some phasing issue, and yeah, it did not cut it. But even before that, I was requesting, please, no Behringer box, because they were never... At best, they were fine. The old Behringer stuff. Nowadays, I don't know what they're up to. Probably Since they bought Turbo Sound, they bought a lot of knowledge, they bought a lot of expertise. So, I don't know. Maybe they make really good bucks nowadays, and I just don't know. I know they make really good console. If their speakers are as good as their console, yeah. But I don't think so. Well, we've been going at this for an hour. Do you guys have any question about the console? This is what we're here to talk about. It just feels like we're at the bar now having a cold one. Which is fun too, by the way. I like to do these, hang out with you guys. Okay. Time for me to plug, shameless plug here. If you guys are not subscribed to the channel, please do so. If you didn't like that video, give it a thumbs up, because that's helping me to be picked up by the algorithm. And I want to reach my goal is to have my 1,000 subs. And if possible, I would like to have it this year. I don't think it's too much to ask. And I'm okay. Also, shameless plug. I'm working on a tutorial video for DAW recording. I want to cover the basic, and I want to cover the more advanced stuff for that. I'm gonna try to cover as much DAW as I can. I'm starting with Logic, then after that it's Reaper. I may go into Pro Tool, and I'm gonna ask you guys what DAW are you using. I know Studio One is a big one. A lot of people are using it. Cubase is Nuendo still a thing? It was in 2007 when I graduated from tech school, but I don't remember. Yeah. Now, funny story about those video. As I'm recording those, I just come up with idea. And why I didn't put out a video yesterday is because when I recorded my Logic video, at some point I took a dive into monitoring live of the console when recording live session. And honestly, thinking about it, sleeping on it yesterday, because yeah, I'm so crazy about the wing that even when I sleep, I dream about creating stuff and tutorial and sound stuff. That I realized watching it back this morning that I just made 2 videos inside one. I have a video about Logic and I have a video about monitoring, and I think I will add some extra footage and I will create a video for monitoring live input in from Logic or from a DAW with that, and I will just edit that. I need to recut some stuff and make it make sense from beginning to end. And once I get that, I will post those videos. So maybe expect 2 or 3 videos this week about DAW recording. Sorry, guys. Well, speaking of, I need to edit those videos and I need to finish them up. I also need coffee. My mug is empty. Need to get caffeinated. And I need to do life, which is the thing that I hate the most. Yeah, you don't count sheep. I count wings. Yeah. I wish I could have more than one wing. No, honestly, I don't know. I wish I could have a smaller one. Where's your GB mug? It's probably in the dishwasher. Sorry. Maybe next time. No, I just picked this one up from vacation when I went to see Wales. a little more up north there, a little more up north than where I live. Yeah, it's crazy being Canadian. Sometimes I'm totally gonna derail here. Okay. Sometimes in Canada we say that we live in the best country in the world, and until I discovered Canada, I didn't thought so. I thought, being a North American, I had the California dream. Somewhere I want to go, by the way. I've never been to California. This is probably going to happen this winter if I don't have any shows. I'm going to take the RV and drive down there. But the more I discover about Canada, the more crazy wildlife, cool stuff we have. We have a lot of cool stuff, and I didn't know that. So I discover more. The more and more I discover my country, the more I like it. So shameless plug for the Whale Highway here in Quebec, and I just like that mug. Okay, enough of me chatting. Enough of me blah blah thing about anything. Would you buy personal wing? Would you buy personal wing? Like that's what? Sorry, mate. I don't. Sorry, mate. I don't get that one. Just rewrite it down, because if I understand this correctly, I bought this thing with my own money. This one is mine. It doesn't belong to a rental company. It's mine. I'm the rental company who own this thing. From Pancho Par, passive crossover are made of capacitor and coil. The coils are heavy and sound can move them. Become cold. Okay, they can develop cold soldering. So, and the cap will get hot and explode. So, okay, I didn't know that caps. Well, I know that there is some kind of electronic circuit. I didn't know that the cap could go hot and burned out. And I'm gonna guess here that the cheaper company or less expensive company use smaller cap with less tolerance, and they just go over the limit. So that way, let's face it, I don't want to put any brand under the radar here, but some brand probably gonna guess that you will explode or destroy your speaker fast or after a while. So if you probably abuse them, you will destroy them. It makes the building process cheaper, and the fact that you will break them, you'll buy another pair. Even if it's not from the same company, at some point you will still buy another box. So, one time you buy X company and the other time you buy Y, and the guy that wasn't Y, that blew it, gonna buy X. So, okay, I get that. Or just replace the part crossover. And yeah, I don't want to get started on the right to repair thing, but this is something that I'm following from a distance. But if you guys, if you guys don't know about right to repair, I will invite you to take a look. This is something that I believe should be happening worldwide. Everybody within reason should have access to part to repair stuff that he owns. And some company right now, like Apple, you know what I'm talking, the Lonely Panda. Some company like Apple try to make your stuff as less fixable as possible. Not only Apple, at some point is getting up to car and, other stuff, other day-to-day stuff that should be fixable. Can I go there? Yeah. Behringer at some point was really hard to have a spec sheet and to get parts to repair them. I tried myself to repair some Behringer speaker I felt because the part were just really hard to get, and when I get them, they were bad quality ones, the one that I get, so, or not as good as Behringer was using, strangely enough. Yeah, it's not only an issue with Apple, it's a lot of stuff. So yeah, if you want to be, I'll give you the more unreasonable example that I can think of, and you guys can decide if you believe in that or not, or if you guys want to jump in or not. Some farmer who owned John Deere tractor, one of the guys tried to change his battery because his battery was just dead after many years. He took his car battery, like the one that you have in your car, took it out. That caused the system to notice that there was no more battery in there. Put a new one in to finish his day, because when it's time to, when stuff in your field has grown and it's time to pick it up, you have a certain window that you need to operate in. So the guy is working 16-hour a day, or the machine is working 24-hour a day on shift, but the battery was dead. So they changed the battery, put a new one in, but the system detected that the battery was first not changed by the dealer and not an official John Deere battery. It was the same spec. But because that battery didn't have a chip or was not changed by the dealer, even with a new battery, the tractor did not start. He needed to flew down in his field a John Deere official rep and reset the computer, said, okay, we will accept that you use a different battery, and you can now proceed to continue to go on. This to me is ridiculous, because if you cannot change a battery in your car without going to the dealer, we're not talking about dangerous part here. Yes, a car battery is dangerous if you stab it with a knife. I mean, there's acid in there. We all know that. But we've been changing out car batteries for a year ourselves, and now the companies said, or are saying, it's too dangerous, don't do that, don't use non-branded battery. Basically what they say is, come to our dealership, we will sell you an expensive one with our name on it, more expensive than what it really costs. And if you don't do that, well, you cannot use your engine, car, tractor, phone anymore. Where in life changing a battery was, too big of a deal? So, I don't know. To me, it sounded extreme that you cannot, in a tractor in the field, just change a battery and go. It's not hard mechanic. It's not. It's just, if you ever change a battery in your car, it's 2 bolts. You take the lug out of the battery, put a new one in, put the lug back in, close the hood, and go. Yeah, the subscription thing is also the same thing. You have to pay every month or to get access to something. It's basically the same idea. So I don't want to go too far in right to repair. This is not what we're here to talk about, but yeah. Enough of me rambling about that. On this note, I will go edit some video, because I have some video editing to do if I want to get those damn video out. Lonely Panda, you got a movie to finish. My friend Lonely Panda is doing lights on the movie right now. I just learned that we are really big into movie in Montreal. A lot of movies are filmed here. So he's working on one. I'm not going to tell you which one, because I like my friend and I don't want him to lose his job. But me, I got to go. Like I said, editing. Guys, thank you for being here. I really appreciate the fact that you take time of your day to come hang out, ask question about the wing, ask question about stuff. I want you all to please take care of yourself. Help me out by liking this video. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you made it this far. Thank you very much for making it this far. Subscribe to the channel. That will help me to reach my goal of 1,000 subs. Till the next one, take care of yourself. And I see you all later. Ah! It's not working. No! I just reprogrammed the damn thing. It's not working. Ah. See you guys.